go. Unfreaking believable. Unbelievable. I gotta be honest with you. That game drove me nuts. I cannot believe the Buccaneers lost that game. Wow. I don't even know what to say. Tough one. Man, that was an absolute laser from Cooch, wasn't it?
What a crazy game. The Bulls are bowl-bound for the third season in a row. An incredible performance. And listen, we know the competition. They did what they had to do. No more silver linings. No more moral victories. It was put up or shut up time. And boy, did they rise to the occasion.
It is cold here in the Tampa Bay area. I'm freezing right now. I know nobody really feels sorry for us north of the border. Our guy Louie from the Frozen Pirates podcast came outside. 3/4 of my Escalade was buried, and I live on a dead-end street. This should be fun. Greetings from the Snowmageddon North. What's going on, brother? Welcome to the Recher podcast. Off yesterday because of Valspar Media Day over at Innisbrook. An epic day, an absolutely epic day on the golf course. You want to know how? I'm going to show you how. I just posted a video on all of my social media platforms. You need to follow me at Recher, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, TikTok, Instagram. I am everywhere. Like and subscribe on YouTube. It has been an incredible couple of days for my social media following. Over 10,000 followers now on Twitter, over 6,000 followers now on Instagram, over 2,200 subscribers on YouTube. A lot of it has to do with my 2 posts after the gold medal winning performance by Team USA Hockey over Canada. So we'll start the show talking about that, of course. A big thank you to our partners, Honest Hammer Custom Builders, LLC, and, of course, EverHealth, our EverHealth Injury Report, back with Dr. Carlos Rodriguez on Thursday at 12:30 on the program. Tomorrow, busy week. Tonight, I will be hosting Lightning Block Party live from Cigar City, right across the street from Benchmark International Arena tonight. So if you have your tickets, I'll see you there. If you don't, try to go look on the website and see if there's any extras. I'll be there tonight. Try to catch a high school baseball game after that. I wanted to mention something real fast. Mark Whiteside reached out to me. And listen, I'm all about showing love to our people here in the Tampa Bay area. I'm not just saying like I'm a man of the people or a show of the people, or this is legit. I care, and I'm around. Shout out to Mark Whiteside. He hit me up and reminded me about this. Plant High School pitcher Coy Keller pitched a perfect game against Riverview on Saturday. So I wanted to give a shout out to Coy Keller. Coach Dennis Braun, who's been at Plant, one of the longest tenured coaches here in the Tampa Bay area, said that was his first perfect game in school history. And you think about all the great pitchers that have been there at Plant, including Jake Woodford, who it looks like Jake Woodford's with the Rays now, which is a great sign. So shout out right there to Coy Keller. Perfect game on Saturday against Riverview after an incredible performance from Plant Friday night against Jesuit. All of your great high school baseball coverage, of course, 813preps.com. A big shout out to my guy Dane Moore, my former player, one of my former players, who's the head coach at Freedom. We got Freedom's back there somewhere. We got a Freedom hat right here, baby. Showing love to my Freedom Patriots today. My guy Dane Moore. For the first time, they are in the top 10 rankings for 813preps.com. I couldn't be more proud of my guy Dane Moore and the Freedom Patriots. Huge, man. Huge. They're right behind me. I know you can't always see it with the chair, but they're always here with me. So proud of you, Dane. So proud of Freedom. Continue the great vibes. Continue the great play. Again, we're always showing love to our people here in the Tampa Bay area. What do we have in store for you today on the program? Plenty. We're going to start talking some hockey. Of course, USA we're still vibing. We're steady mobbing. Still, days later. I want to talk about some of the things that we've heard north of the border, still bitching and moaning and complaining. And also, if there's any part of me that feels bad about that game, and to be completely honest with you, there is something. And it's just being a human being. Just being a human being. All right, so we'll talk about that. Also, the NFL Combine is here. How excited are you? Everybody jumping for joy for guys playing football in their underwear? I think the NFL Combine is one of the weirdest things. It's one of the weirdest things, I think, in all of sports. It really is. We sit here and we judge these athletes in a controlled environment with cutoff shirts and shorts, and we think that they're a good football player based on how fast they can run in a straight line, how many times they can lift weights, and how they can throw a football with no guy bearing down on them trying to sack them. It's fascinating to me how much stock is put into shit like this. Also, Taylor Walls will be the Rays starting opening day shortstop. We had this discussion with Mark Topkin on Friday, and it's still, and I know he's banged up right now. It looks like he's dealing with a little bit of an injury. Shouldn't keep him out for opening day, but I just, something about it is just rubbing me the wrong way. Carson Williams. You brought him up last year. He did really good in the field. He's fast. Yeah, he had struggles hitting. Like, that's what happens as a rookie. And now you send him down. Like, I think the Rays are just too careful with these prospects. I mean, right now, you saw it last year with Chandler Simpson. We're going to send him down so we can learn to play center field. I told you this last year. He's never going to play center field, ever. Is he playing center field now? So why'd you send him down? Like, it's just so weird. Like, they have to do a better job of managing their prospects. And it just drives me nuts that we just give credit to everything with the, like, nobody in the Bay Area questions what the Rays do. Everybody's just like, yeah. We question what the Lightning do. We question what the Bucks do. We question what USF does. But for some reason, because it's like a built-in excuse with the Rays because they can't afford to spend as much money as other people, and they've had a modicum of success in the past, that everybody just gives Kevin Cash and Eric Neander and Kyle Snyder a pass. So like, whatever they do is right. It's just very strange to me. Very strange. And it makes me question if people even care about the race, to be honest with you. 1240. You want to talk about Mike Evans? You want to talk about Lavonte David? Maybe something else about the Buccaneers? Every time I see somebody talking about the Bucs, it's the same shit over and over and over again. And I got to be honest, I'm probably a little guilty of it too. We need some new storylines when it comes to the Buccaneers. A new mock draft from Mel Kiper today, and he did not have Kenyon Zeke, the tight end for Oregon. So we'll get into that here in a bit. And then finally, my epic day at Innisbrook for Valspar Championship Media Day. Some great stuff there to be able to see Brian Engblom, to see all of our TV guys like Evan Klosky and Bob Hansen. Catherine Smith was there, Mike Cairns from Spectrum, and then also Rondé Barber and Tracy West. It's going to be another incredible week over there in Palm Harbor. You know I'm going to be there. My parents are going to be in town. We'll be there on the 8th green on Friday and the 18th green on Sunday. That's what we did last year, and it's great because me and Mom can sit down, we can have our food, and my dad can just kind of walk around and do his thing. My parents are not walking around right now. They're not walking around right now because they're snowed in. 30 inches of snow, more snow there than they've ever experienced before. Pretty freaking crazy. Questions, comments, concerns, leave them there at the bottom of the screen. I want to hear from you. If you want to join in via the video chat, whether you're on your phone or on your laptop, just click on the link right there at the bottom. StreamYard.com/I5VGKYBNN9Y. Check it out. Join in on the conversation by clicking on the link. And again, I always want to hear from you guys. Benny, J. Recher, #1 source of Tampa Bay sports. I appreciate you, buddy. Look at all those emojis. Holy smokes. Gio's in the house. So is the first lady of the J. Recher podcast, Janet Best. DT's ready for some lightning hockey. Len Ferraccio, our guy Gio. Jay, what is your favorite Tiger Woods story? I'll answer that for you right now, Gio, if you're still here. My favorite Tiger Woods story is him playing in the Valspar that one time. And from where 18 is, there's like a walkway up to 1. And Tiger was scheduled to speak with the Golf Network. So, and this is, I remember this like it was just yesterday. I was standing there with about 6 or 7 other media members. And I was talking to my buddy Justin Granite, who used to be with Channel 10. And he and I were just talking as we're sitting there waiting for Tiger. Because again, this is the only year that the only year in the last 10 years that he's been there. And we're talking, just waiting for Tiger. You know, you want to get into a good spot because you don't know what's going to be like. And then all of a sudden, you didn't just hear people around you. You felt people around you. And all of a sudden, like, we're talking, and like, it's not like it grew. You turned around and there was thousands of people there. Not hundreds, thousands of people behind us. It went from 5 to, I'd say, 3,000 or 4,000 people behind us. I'm like, I was blown away. Like I felt like I was in the front row of like a concert. You couldn't see back far enough. It was insane just to get a glimpse of Tiger Woods. To this day, just absolutely incredible. That's my favorite Tiger Woods story. Shout out to our guy Eddie. Crew will be in Pittsburgh this Sunday. Keep killing it, JU the man. Oh, and USA. Let's go up to Snowmageddon. Our guy Louie. What's up, brother?
Buddy? What's happening? You hear me all right?
Yeah, how are you feeling?
That's how I'm feeling, bud.
Oh my God.
Yeah, this is why we're moving to Florida very, very soon. Very, very soon.
How long is that?
Probably within a year, 2 years. So I'm actually going to be going down there in a couple of weeks. Hopefully there's nothing up with the flights and stuff to do the Sports Collectors Expo. Got
Nice.
a couple of guys we'll be interviewing, Mike Allstott and stuff, so that should be fun. But yeah, this storm, buddy, definitely this one sealed it. This was me and the wife looked at each other and we were like, it's time. It's time.
Mhm.
And I drive an Escalade and I can't even get out of this. There's a
God.
What I'm talking about, like, so that's my house right there. We have a windrow like up to the tree, dude.
Yeah.
Like it's like this is our neighbor.
Oh my God.
You ain't leaving. You know, we got the National Guard up here and stuff. It's just
How many
tough,
inches
man.
did you get?
We got I measured 41.
Oh my
41.
gosh, man.
Yeah, and there's parts of Massachusetts that actually have it worse than we do. I believe Plymouth, the job site that I'm on, there's no access over there. There's some parts of Massachusetts that are actually flooding. People's basements are getting flooded.
Yeah.
I believe there's 290,000 people without power right now.
You have power?
I have power. We live next to a hospital, luckily. So
Okay.
we're always pretty good. When we have storms, like massive thunderstorms and stuff, the power will flick on and off, but we've never lost power. But I mean, I usually stock up on stuff, man. This is, out of the whole time I've lived here, this is probably the worst storm I've seen. You couldn't even see.
Wow.
It was, the wind gusts were about 6. The best way to describe it, Jay, is it was like a snow hurricane.
Yeah.
Instead of rain, it was snow.
Was the snow different there?
Um,
Because my dad was saying, like, usually snow is like pretty soft. He said this one was like really hard and compact because of all the wind.
Yeah, this one's kind of heavy. I mean, I've been shoveling all day, and I haven't even made a dent. I haven't even made a dent. Like it's just it's insane. But yeah, it's heavy snow, man. Like I said, this is all I pretty much got done. I got the wife's car to dig out, and that's what's in front of the wife's car. So I mean, yeah, no work.
You're doing what you can, buddy. You're doing what you can.
Yeah, that's it, man. Lucky for you guys must have some nice weather. I heard you say it was a little chilly out there. Come on.
I feel bad now saying that to you. Now I gotta wait. I'll tell you, it's a solid 56 right now, buddy.
Hey, you know what, buddy? I'd be in a t-shirt and shorts right now if that was 56 up here. I'd be washing my truck right now.
That's the truth.
But real quick with this Max Crosby thing, man, everybody keeps talking about this, and everybody keeps saying Godwin's going. I don't think they're gonna, like I said before, Jay. I don't think they're gonna want. If you're gonna make a trade for Max Crosby, they're gonna want one of our younger guys, I believe. I feel like they're gonna want McMillan or Ibuka. I don't think they want a Chris Godwin, and they're gonna have to give up the farm and stuff. They're gonna have to give up two. It's gonna look a lot like the Khalil Mack trade from the Raiders. Remember that?
Yeah.
The Raiders and Bears. I feel like that's what it's gonna look like. Don't get me wrong, man. I would love to have Max Crosby in Tampa. Like I said to T-Kraz yesterday, he'd be such a tone setter for the defense.
Yeah.
I believe his energy and just his presence is what this defense is missing, because I feel like, Yaya Diaby, and Kalijah Cansey could really thrive under Max Crosby, because I feel like that's what they need. They need another guy to take up double teams and stuff, because if you let Cansey and Yaya do their thing, man, I think they can be some premier pass rushers in this league. They just need the extra juice.
Yeah.
As our guy John Gruden used to say, they need the extra juice on defense.
I'm with you, buddy. All right, Louis, I'll answer the question and then move on from there. I appreciate you, brother. Stay warm.
Absolutely. Peace.
All right, buddy. The great Louis Frozen Pirate Podcast. Go check them out. I'm joining him every once in a while on there. I got to get on with him, no doubt, to talk some Buccaneers. But yeah, I mean, I hear what you're saying, but you got to pay the piper sometimes. We get so worried about what prices are and how much things are going to cost. But for me, I think sometimes you got to be bold. Sometimes you got to go out there and make a move. You look at these other organizations, these other franchises, you know, if Denver was so worried about their cap space, they would have never got rid of Russell Wilson. Seattle moving on from DK Metcalf. Like, sometimes you have to make these moves for the betterment of your team. So I wouldn't hate it. Take a freaking chance, man. Being the same old mediocre Bucks, that ain't going to help. Come on, man. Take a risk. Take a freaking risk. Let's get to some of these other questions here. John Cooper, can't wait to see Jay Recher. I don't think so, buddy. I don't think so. Sneakers O'Toole. I did not get those red, white, and blue. I was thinking about it too. Sergio Beltres, what's going on, pal? What a feel-good moment at the end of that USA victory. You are so right. Bart Hill is in the house. What's up, buddy? Richie P is here as well. Good to see you. Nathan Elliott. What's going on, pal? Sup, Jay? Any updates on Pointer and Sorelli? Sorelli skating in a no-contact jersey today at practice. Braden Point was out there skating with the guy, so I think he'll be ready to roll. Shout out to all the degenerates, haters, and trolls. You got that right, buddy. Hope everybody is well up north. Got enough traffic. Jeremy Lowe, what up, Jay? Can't wait for Lightning hockey returning tomorrow. Yeah, man, there's a lot of excitement right now when it comes to Lightning hockey, especially because of how well the guys were playing before the break. But it's kind of funny to watch all the Canadian media. And I don't know if you guys saw my video, but these two videos that I made, the one video about the 3-on-3 and the stop bitching and moaning and complaining, that's got hundreds of thousands of views. And then the one where I got the receipts, and I can't really play it on here because it plays Freebird. And if I play anything like that, any kind of music like that or any TV stuff, they're going to shut down this YouTube video. That's why I couldn't put it on YouTube, which sucks. But you got to go watch those videos on my social media platform. They went off. Over 1 million views on my receipts. And what I did, and I told you guys I was going to do this. I was going to take all the receipts. I was going to take all of the different comments that were made by the Canadian media about how they were a shoo-in to win the cup. And I was going to save them. And then when the U.S. won, I was going to show them all, baby. Show them all. I'm revealing my list. No Epstein conversation here. We'll save that for Ian. But wow, what an incredible feedback. Again, over 10,000 followers now on Twitter, over 6,000 on Instagram. We got to keep this thing growing and climbing every single day. Benny, you didn't get the U.S. flag light up sneakers. Oh, man. Yes. Listen, that would have been too much. Tomorrow back at Benchmark International Arena, I will be live after morning skate right there on the program from the arena. Doubly Eric Erlinson will join us at 1 o'clock. I didn't want to do the shoes because I thought it would have been a little bit too much. And for all the love and excitement and everything about it'd be surprising. Just trying to see if guys are going to play tomorrow, because you're talking about these hockey players that are going to be at the State of the Union address tonight. Like, how are they going to play tomorrow? Like, I'd be very surprised if any of the American guys play tomorrow. Any of them. Like Gentz, Matthews, I don't think so. I know Victor Hedman just said, and this is from Eric Erlinson, he'll be ready for tomorrow. Expects to play on Wednesday as the Lightning take on Toronto. He unfortunately couldn't play because of that groin injury he sustained in warmups in that game against Team USA. But, and you guys know, U.S. hockey, since I was a kid, I grew up playing hockey. I was Team USA all the way, no doubt about it. But there is a human element to this entire thing. There is, and I don't want to say guilt. That's too strong of a word. I definitely don't want to say regret. But there is a little, I guess, sympathy and empathy and shit, man. What does he need that from me? You know what I mean? Like, it's just, it kind of is what it is, right? But when I look at John Cooper and I see the pain that he went through, I got nothing but love for Coop. I mean, he's just a man. He's always been so great to me. And for me, hold on, I want to give me 1 second, guys. There's been some issues with the Facebook Live on Twitter. So I just want to bang this out real quick. Log in. Click the share button. Post this. Okay, hold on, guys. Post this. There we go. There we go. Yeah, for a while there, when I'm posting on Twitter, it's just kind of like automatically gone on. It's automatically been a part of this. But unfortunately, the way that the kind of StreamYard's been going through the Twitter, it doesn't post automatically. So I found like a kind of roundabout way of doing it. But we're good now. We're Gucci 5,000, cuz. All right. Thank you very much. Chelios, Richter, Hull, Garin, yes. Americans, great Americans. Mike Richter, my guy. Brian Leach, don't forget about him. Marissi Riss 87. Even when Coop makes fun of you, yes. Even when Coop makes fun of you, you make fun of me too, Marissa. Karen Clemente, hey Jay, so excited for the boys to get back and home playing together tomorrow. I love you, Marissa. We're good. So there, it's hard not to feel for Coop, right? And he doesn't need my sympathy. He'd much rather have a gold medal. But there is a part of me, and there is a part of me that like you feel for Coop. I watched the post-game press conference, and he was talking about the 3-on-3, and I didn't love that. It didn't come across very well for my guy. But like, I see John Cooper more than I see my mom and dad. Right? Like, that's just kind of the way it is. So to see the hurt on his face for a guy that's always been so great to me, that sucks. Like, I really wish that he wasn't the head coach of Team Canada for that reason. I would have taken a little bit of solace if they would have won, because that would have meant he and Brandon Hagel won. And again, Hagel is another guy where our relationship has gotten so much better. Not that it wasn't bad, but I mean, not that it wasn't good, but we've just talked a lot more this season. There's certain guys that you talk to when you're covering sports here in the Tampa Bay area. And again, you can have a show, you can have a radio show, you can do a podcast, that's fine. But are you talking to the players? Like, are you talking to the players? Like, that's the kind of insight that I want to hear from somebody that's talking about sports locally. Right? As much as you want to say about like Stephen A. Smith, you want to talk about some of these other big names nationally. Like, if they're talking to the players, like if they're in there, it does give credence and does give them legitimacy. I feel like that's what gives me an edge against a lot of people that are on the air now, or, any other time slot during the day, is that like, I'll walk down the hallway and, I'll be able to say hi to a Graham Barton or Tristan Wirfs, or a Darren Radish, or a Ryan McDonough, or a Ryan Pepio, or a Junior Caminero, right? Like, that's when I give my opinion. I don't give a shit if it hurts people's feelings or not. It's not personal. It's my opinion. I cover sports, and I'm going to be honest. I'm going to be transparent, and I'm going to show up. I'm going to show up and answer the bell. You think, and I've done it before, and I've had conversations with players, with coaches, with members of the organization or organization that think, all right, well, maybe I was a little off base there, or maybe I have my facts incorrect. That's fine. I'm not perfect. But to me, it also makes moments like what we just saw on Sunday difficult. I don't want to see Hagel like that. I don't want to see Coop like that. So as much as I've been carrying the red, white, and blue flag, and I will for the end of time, and I'll never apologize for anything. I like to take this chance to apologize to absolutely nobody, in the words of Conor McGregor. There is, a part of me that you feel for John Cooper. He's brought us so many good memories here in Tampa Bay, and he's always been personally really good to me. Love the guy. And I just hope that he and Brandon Hagel and the rest of the guys, where either it was like Kucherov or Vazzy that didn't end up playing, or Point and Cirelli who got hurt, Victor Hedman, some of these other guys, like, we spoke about what would happen if Team USA had Quinn Hughes and a healthy Charlie McAvoy and a healthy Matthew Tkachuk for the Four Nations. Would Team USA have won? That's a fair question. My question to you is, if Team Canada had a healthy Sidney Crosby, a healthy Braden Point, and a healthy Anthony Cirelli, do they win that game? They may have. Because they got so top heavy and they put Celebrini with McKinnon and McDavid. If you have Braden Point there, you don't need to do that. That second line, it was almost became a checking line with Suzuki and Stone and Marner. And if you have Cirelli, you just have another guy who can win draws, because Suzuki lost a ton of draws. And listen, he's better than I thought he was. I give Suzuki credit because he scored that late goal to keep them alive against the Finns. But he lost draws. He lost draws late that hurt them. And Anthony Cirelli, I probably would have won at least half of those. And we may be having a different conversation today. So this, like everything in life, is all about perspective. Guys, for everybody watching right now, I want everybody to hit that like button while you can right now. Hit that like button, whether you're watching on Facebook, on YouTube, on Twitter /X, whatever. Follow me on all social media platforms at Recher. Again, a big thank you to our partners, Honest Hammer Custom Builders, LLC, for all your residential and commercial needs. And, of course, EverHealth, our EverHealth Injury Report on Thursday with Dr. Carlos Rodriguez. I know Jason Light was to speak at 12:30. I think he's actually speaking right now. And let's get into that right now, because I know he's speaking. So I want to give you some of the stuff that we're hearing. This is from our pal Rick Stroud of the Tampa Bay Times. He joined us on the program last week. Jason Light said he'll meet with Derek Gilmore, the agent for Mike Evans in Indianapolis. Yeah, love Mike. We'd love to have Mike back, and he's earned the right to, with his resume and Mike as a person, what he's meant to this entire community, fan base, all of us. I could go on and on, which we have. Agreed. Also, some other things. Falcons GM Ian Cunningham confirms their franchise tagging Kyle Pitts and making Kirk Cousins a post-June 1 release. Also, Jason Light on the 2026 season. It was obviously not what we were planning on or what we wanted. It was painful. A lot of thoughts go through your mind. We started off so strong and had a lot of expectations and a lot of factors involved in it. But, it's now a new life, a new offseason. It's time for us to correct some of those issues that we thought we had, and excited about the plans that we have, excited about some of the new additions on the coaching staff, Zach Robinson, and we're looking to get back to where we were and better. That is where we're at right now. We'd love to have Mike back. We'll see how this process plays out. Mike's earnest decision, see what's out there and see what's best for him. We'll just see how the process plays out. This is just a very weird thing to me when it comes to this Mike Evans situation, right? Like, if you really wanted to stay, like, why are you talking to other teams? Like, nobody's willing to say that, and they'll say, like, oh, he's earned his right. Yeah, he has. But why again? Why again are you looking for somewhere else to go? I don't know. Light says it's new off season, which means new life. This is from our friends at Pewter Report. They're excited about the plans they have in place and excited to do something after dropping to 8-9 and missing the playoffs in 2020. 25. Jason Light also said they have confidence in Zach Robinson bringing some continuity to the offense this year. His relationship with Baker Mayfield wasn't the main factor in the hire, but it was a factor. On last season's second half collapse, Light says they all have to own it. Him as a GM, the coaches, and the players all have responsibility to take with the way things went down. He says his thoughts on Baker Mayfield haven't changed. Their plans for him haven't changed. There's no timetable, but he's sure they'll have discussions on a possible contract extension at some point. He also says the offensive line injuries certainly didn't help their case last year. To go through as many combinations as they had to last year wasn't helpful at all, but you don't want to hide behind injuries as an excuse. I mean, injuries happen all the time. I don't think that you can use that as an injury, as an excuse. If I said, give me 3 of the 5 guys, the 3 guys that you're going to want to have are Gedeke, Wirfs, and Barton, and they were healthy down the stretch. It's got to be better. They've got to be better. And I think the standards need to raise. I really do. The standards need to raise when it comes to what is going on with this team. I don't want to see the same old thing. I don't want to see like the excuses. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to see it. I don't want to be around it. This team has got to pull itself up by its bootstraps and really, kind of take their shit to the next level, man. Give me something different. Give me some ornery players. Give me somebody that's going to be pissed off, going out there playing with a purpose. Give me some of that. Too much of this nice guy stuff. We're trying to find this perfect human being. I don't care about perfect. I don't care about perfect. Go out there and make it ugly. The best teams have to win a multitude of ways. I think about that with Team USA. They dominated offensively, all these teams, high scoring. And then you have to win a game where you don't play particularly well. You don't play to the best of your ability because there's another team out there as well. I watched Manchester United win 1-0 against Everton today. It wasn't their smoothest game, but they had one chance to really score past Everton goalkeeper Jordan Pickford. A long pass from Mateus Cunha to Brian Mbeumo sets up Benjamin Šeško on a platter, and he nails it. 1-0 victory on the road. Boom. Salute your away fans and get the hell out of there. Sometimes it's got to be that. That's what great teams do. Great teams find a way. That's what the Buccaneers have to do. All right. I wanted to talk some Rays baseball here and discuss the news about Taylor Walls being their everyday shortstop. And we know right now he's dealing with oblique injury, and Kevin Cash, makes this statement that, you got to save him for yourself, and he's always working so hard. I almost thought we got to a point last year where we were kind of at the end of the whole Taylor Walls experiment with the Tampa Bay Rays. Did anybody else feel that? I feel like we were kind of getting at the end. We were going to move on, or this guy was going to be a super U guy and play a multitude of spots, not be your everyday shortstop. And listen, when I say this, I really like Taylor Walls, and I think his glove is amazing. This guy can pick it. Don't get me wrong. There is a purpose for him on a major league club, especially with the Rays. But with that being said, I think there was a lot of Rays fans excited for this year because of Carson Williams at shortstop. We keep hearing about all these young guys that are going to come up and make a change, whether it's a Trey Morgan or an Xavier Isaac or a Carson Williams. And wow, watch out for these guys. Chandler Simpson, you see the impact that he had last year. You call Carson Williams up, and he plays pretty good. I know offensively he struggled a little bit. What did you think was going to happen? He's 22 years old. If you call him up at 22, it's not going to be pretty. He batted 172. Okay, fine. What did Taylor Walls bat last year? 220. I mean, it's not like you're having a guy there that is batting 260, 270. He batted 220. Taylor Walls is do you know what Taylor Walls' career average is? Does anybody know? Anybody? 195. 195. That means that he gets a hit less than 20% of the time he's up there. His on-base percentage all time is 286. That means just over a quarter of the time he's getting on base. It was 286 lifetime. It went down to 280 last year. So his batting average is better and his on-base percentage is worse. So we're acting like we have a offensive phenom on our hands. And I just feel like the Rays continuously mismanage some of these prospects. Nobody ever talks about this stuff. It's very strange. And I don't know if it's and listen, I love my guys over there at DAE, but I don't know if it's because they're the flagship and they're worried about offending somebody, but like nobody ever talks about the lack of prospect development for the Rays. Nobody thinks it's weird that Taylor Walls is still here. Remember Xavier Edwards, got rid of him in a trade. He turned out to be pretty good. Remember how good Vidal Brujan was supposed to be? Remember how good Richie Schaefer was supposed to be? Remember how good Taj Bradley and Shane Baz were supposed to be? All these guys are gone. They didn't develop any of these dudes. None of them. And unless they're a top prospect in baseball, then it's just like, unless it is a Wander, unless it is a Junior Caminero, then what happens? Like, what are we doing with this team? Fine, set Junior in that spot. You're hoping Gavin Lux can be the guy? Yandy Diaz isn't the guy that you drafted. This is the guy that you traded for. Aranda, okay. For many years, he looked like he was a quad A guy, a guy that could hit in AAA, but not in the big leagues. And once again, the Rays, when they have these prospects, they can't keep telling us, well, they did it this 1 year. You're right, they didn't draft Junior. Thank you, Benny. They didn't even draft Junior. They traded for him too. But still, they developed him because they got him pretty young. Same thing about like a guy like Willie Adames. I'll give him that. Turned out to be a pretty good ball player. But this team has to get better at developing their young guys, whether it's offensive or defensive or pitching, because it's just not good enough and not enough people talk about it. They have to be held to a higher standard. Too many times, like we're talking so much about the ownership. What happens if this team doesn't make the playoffs again? Then what? Are we just going to continue bitching and moaning about the payroll? They were able to make the playoffs in the past. What's changed? They need to do a better job developing these guys. And I don't agree with Carson Williams not starting the year with the big club. I just don't agree with that. These guys have to learn to fail at the big league level. He's part of your future. You're talking about rushing guys. No, you're not rushing him. You brought him up last year. It'd be one thing if you didn't want to debut him this year and you wanted to let him kind of marinate in the AAA. Fine. He did that. You brought him up. He didn't look out of place. He looked a little overwhelmed at the plate, which is going to happen as a rookie. But what kind of message are you sending to Carson Williams if he's not going to be with the big club out of camp this year? You're telling him that guy, Taylor Walls, who bats under 200, is a better option than him? Just like last year. You're sending a guy like Chandler Simpson down because you wanted him, and this is exactly what they said. We want him to work in center field. And I told you the day, you go back and look it up. I told you that day, he is never going to play center field long-term in the major leagues. He's a slap-hitting left fielder. We've seen this before. A Gerard Dyson, Terrence Gore type guy, Joey Gathright type guy. That's fine. He may have a little bit more offensive upside, but he's not going to be a center fielder. He's not a natural center fielder. It's a tough position. You can work on it all you want. If you don't figure it out within a couple of months, you're probably going to be destined to play in a corner. There's nothing wrong with that. But that's what happens. That's what happens when you're the Tampa Bay Rays. Do something different. I'm sick of watching the same old thing with the Rays. I got to see some difference this year. And everybody always talks about like the ownership. Can more people bring up the real issue, and it's the lack of development of their players? if you don't have a good payroll and you're not at the top of the standings, you should have some really good draft picks. And if you have draft picks, you got to be able to draft and develop. And nobody says that about the Dodgers. They spend all this money. I get it. But they also draft and develop a bunch of these guys, and then they end up trading them for some of these big league prospects or big league players. Do better. Do better. I don't agree. I don't agree with Taylor Wall starting the season at shortstop. I think he should be on the team. I think he'd be your super utility guy. He can go in at the end of the game to play second, to play short, to play third. But the fact that you have one of your best prospects in Carson Williams, and what Mark Topkins said on Friday from the Tampa Bay Times, that he's not going to start the season with the big club, I think is a huge mistake. Huge mistake. All right. If you're just joining us, we did speak a little about the Buccaneers with Jason Light a little while ago, but I wanted to bring something else up too. The combine. When you look at the NFL combine, I think it's fascinating to me, because you look at the importance that people put on this. The football is the king, right? We find so many different ways to show love to football, and it's very weird to me. I'm not that guy. I'm sorry. I'll give you that the NFL is king. I'll give it to you that it's the most popular sport because it gets to a lot of different people. But my favorite sport is hockey. I think there's other sports to talk about instead of underwear football. I'd rather talk about AJ Styles retiring last night and getting inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame. I'd rather talk about the NBA and what moves are going to be made over the next couple of weeks for teams to position themselves to the playoffs. I'd rather talk about soccer. I'd rather talk about spring training and the upcoming World Baseball Classic. There's so many different things to talk about. And it's funny, these media members in Canada are like, oh, they're going to go back and by Wednesday they'll forget about this. Why? So because we're not just invested in one sport, so that makes us losers because we actually care about more than just hockey. If anything, that makes you look bad. That makes you look bad. All you care about is hockey, and you still can't beat the U.S. What does that say about you? Get wrecked. March Madness. Thank you. Benny's coming up soon. How about the wins over the weekend for my Duke Blue Devils over Michigan, Arizona, and Houston? Fantastic matchups in college basketball. A lot of great things to talk about. A lot of it. Valspar coming up. Golf back in the swing of it. Brooks Koepka going to be at the Valspar. The combine is one of the weirdest things to me. It really is. The best part about the combine is hearing from the coaches and general managers. That's the best part, because we get information from these guys. But as far as what happens with the players, to me, it's like a beauty pageant. The NFL combine is like toddlers and tiaras. Who's this year's Honey Boo Boo? You're telling me you're going to learn more about a player watching him with a cutoff dry fit shirt and some shorts than you did on tape the last 2, 3, or 4 years in college. Does that make sense to anybody? Zach Wilson went number 2 in the NFL draft, not because of what they saw on tape, but because he could throw the ball across his body 50, 60, 70 yards down a practice field with no pass rush. Ask the Jet fans how they love that, how much they love that decision. How much do they love that decision? They don't love it at all. You're telling me you can tell how good a guy's going to be based on how many times he can perform during the bench press? How fast the guy can run in a straight line? What are we even talking about here? For every Chris Johnson, there's a John Ross. Remember how fast that guy was? Receiver drafted in the first round by the Cincinnati Bengals. Look at what his career turned out to be. We put so much stock into things like measurables in sports. I don't care how athletic a guy is. I want to care if he's a good – I care about if he's a good player. When you tell me that a guy's a good athlete, you know what you're not saying? You're not saying he's a good player. There's a certain point at a guy's career, you look at him and you go, well, he looks athletic and he should be able to do this and could do this and looks great without his shirt off. What does that even matter? I don't care what a guy looks like. This isn't bodybuilding. Go out there and make plays. You line up all these guys and you start picking out all the Hall of Famers. None of them would be, not, I don't want to say none of them, but if you line up all these Hall of Famers on the line, how many of them look like they were carved out of granite, chiseled out of rock? Go back and look at Tom Brady. Go back and look at Warren Sapp. Look at some of these guys. Do they really look like these freak athletes and specimens? Give me a smart athlete over a guy that tests well because he can run in a straight line or lift some weights better than somebody else. I do think the combine is great for young guys or guys that maybe from smaller schools to see how they can compare with other guys when it comes to their speed and their skill set. Where, all right, you can't really judge based on the tape because you don't know if it's going to translate against better competition. But even then, it's a crapshoot. The whole thing is a crapshoot. Even if a guy's film is good, there's no guarantee that a guy's film in college is going to translate to the pros. Every single draft pick in the NFL is a risk. Every single one. And I just, again, it fascinates me that we put so much stock into underwear football in a controlled environment with no guys running after you trying to take your head off. The NFL and football as a sport in general is such a freaking crazy, physical, and dangerous sport. And now you're telling me that the way that you can properly grade them is by giving these guys some cut-off T-shirts and putting a random number on their chest? That's the way we're supposed to differentiate who the best is from the worst? Give me what we saw on tape. That to me is always going to mean more than how fast a guy can run in a straight line or what his cone drill time is. It's a weird fetish that people have. Anything in football is great. Not for me. Not for me. Sorry. I know I might be in the minority of people that speak about sports for a living when I say that, but I really don't care. I don't. I think the draft is fun because everybody wants to figure out where you're adding and subtracting to your team. There's trades. You want to see guys achieve the ultimate dream. I get that. I'm not saying everything outside of the draft or anything outside of actual game day is meaningless and pointless and just kind of a throwaway. I like OTAs. I like, some of the training camp stuff, right? We kind of get an idea of what it's going to look like. You see the different combinations. You see guys in their uniforms and the chemistry that maybe some of the receivers have with their quarterbacks and vice versa, and how teams are going to line up before week one. I get that. That excites me too. But the combine is just very strange to me. It's and just watch it. Watch it on NFL Network or ESPN, and you see these guys testing, and you'll see certain coaches and general managers, and they're there, and they got their pen in their pad, and they're locked in. And then you'll see other guys like in a booth somewhere, and they'll have their backs to the practice field. They don't care. They don't care about that stuff. What are you really going to be able to tell? Very strange. Make sure you follow me on all social media platforms: Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, TikTok, Instagram. Like and subscribe on YouTube as well. Let me tell you about my friends, Honest Hammer Custom Builders, LLC, for all your residential and commercial needs. 813-244-0956, thehonesthammer.com, thehonesthammer@gmail.com. Russ, my guy, he is the best. He really is. Bathroom, kitchen renovations. If you have a room in your house that you want to just completely renovate, this is the guy. A Team Tampa Bay guy through and through, a USF grad, and just a really good down-to-earth type of guy where you want to trust somebody that's working on your home. Again, not just your house, your home. And Russ is that guy. Give him a call. Tell him that you heard it right here. You get a discount on your project. And he's just a guy that you just want to be around. He's just a really awesome guy. Former umpire, family guy. Lucky there's a family guy. I just an awesome guy. Get work on your house. Honest Hammer Custom Builders LLC. And of course, EverHealth, 17 different locations in Pinellas County. EverHealth Injury Report every Thursday with Dr. Carlos Rodriguez. They want to be able to help you from the cradle to the grave. They have a sliding scale for the uninsured. They take all kinds of insurance. I really love the EverHealth Institute. The more and more I've been looking into it, that hands-on learning, hands-on training for people that want to be in the medical field, even if it's not just for you, for a loved one of your friends' loved ones, go to everhealth.org and go check it out. It changed my life when I went to something similar for broadcasting school. I wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for the Connecticut School of Broadcasting. And when I walked around at the EverHealth Institute there at High Point and looked at all the different classrooms that they had, that's not my thing, because I don't want to get into the medical field. I never did, but I had that same kind of feeling where if you want to do something like that, that fire in your stomach to be able to help people, everhealth.org, go check them out. Nate Elliott, did I miss the answer to the question? Tampa Bay Buccaneers versus Detroit Lions. Do you go? Who would go? It is a possibility. It is. I probably wouldn't go. If it was in England, maybe, but I think it's in Germany, right? So I don't think so, but I wouldn't be surprised. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers have a very big European and international contingent, so I wouldn't be surprised if they get in there. Realtor David, for a long time, Jason Light made bad decisions because he was drafting the best athletes, and doesn't matter when they don't know how to play. Player IQ and instincts is what separates players. I don't disagree with that at all, David, and that's something that we had this conversation last Friday with Scott Reynolds from Pewter Report, discussing the change in the approach for Jason Light in this draft. And I've been saying it too. Like, I know player IQ and instincts, but we need some dogs, man. We need some dogs. I don't want to, I understand you want guys like Lavonte David, but you need some guys that are a little cuckoo. You need some guys that are going to upset the apple cart. You need guys that are going to be a little different. If you have your personality of 53 Lavonte Davids, that's not going to work. It's not going to work. I want to see the Buccaneers think outside the box a little bit more when it comes to their roster construction. Give me some guys that are playing like they're batshit crazy, man. Bull in the china shop. Warren Sapp skipping through the workouts of the other team. I don't want a bunch of choir boys. Find a way. Find a way. I don't think the Buccaneers are as far off as some other people may think. At times, that's the thing with me, is sometimes I'm higher on the teams locally and sometimes I'm lower. I think that with a couple of the right draft picks and a couple of the right free agent signings or trades, they can be right back in the mix. Right back in the mix. David Terry, who would you rather have? Mike Evans or Max Crosby? Wow. Straight up. Not worried about what the price would be. Woo! That's a good one, DT. That's a good one. Right now, you're saying. We're not talking about careers. It's probably Max Crosby. It's probably Max Crosby at this point. At this point, it's probably Max Crosby. Who's going to help you more in the next 1, 3, 5 years? It's going to be a guy that's going to be able to rush the passer. Max Crosby is going to be able to do something that we haven't seen in 6 years for this crew. Sentimentally, your heart is going to say Mike Evans. No doubt about it. You're a Bucs fan. I get it. But reality, what this team truly needs is a guy to get to the passer. You need somebody that's going to just wreak havoc and help Todd Bowles in this defense. And if you don't have Mike, you still have Chris, Still have J-Mac. You still have Ibuka. You still have Tez Johnson. And if there's anything that we've been able to see the last couple of years is that Jason Light has been able to bring in some different receivers to help. So if you tell me that he brings in a guy in the 5th or 6th round this year to help this team, his track record there has been pretty damn good, rather. So right now, as the roster is constructed, it would be Max Crosby. You know, it's funny. I was joking before that, like, that's all everybody's talking about is Mike Evans, Lavonte David, Lavonte Evans. Oh, Lavonte Evans. Yeah, Lavonte Evans, that guy. Lavonte David, Mike Evans, Lavonte David. That's it. But it's a fair question. Good point. Good question, buddy. Jake Gensel, not in DC with some of his USA teammates, so he should be ready to go tomorrow with no issues. Rob Zettler says the expectation is for Gensel, Chernak, and Hagel to be ready to go to return to the lineup, as well as John Cooper when the Lightning host Toronto tomorrow night. Braden Point is ready to return, along with Charles-Edouard Destu and Emil Lilleberg. So there you go, talking about this name. So, wow, that's interesting stuff. This Lightning team, Nick Paul will not be ready tomorrow. He won't. He hasn't been skating. I doubt Anthony Cirelli will be either. But if you think about it, listen to all these guys that are going to be in the lineup. Gensel, Chernak, Hagel, we knew that. But Point will be back. Destu will be back, and Lilleberg will be back. And also Victor Hedman. So if you look, let's write this down. All right, your first line is going to be, it's going to be Point, Kucherov, and Gensel, right? Maybe. Then you have James, Gonsalves. You'll probably go Point, Kuch, and Hagel then, if that's the way it's constructed. Yeah, that's what they'll do. That's what they'll do. Okay, so it'll be Hagel, Point, Kucherov on line 1. It'll be Gensel, James, Gonsalves, because we've seen that line do really well. Third line will be Gordo, Gergensons, Holmberg. And then the fourth line will be some iteration of who am I missing? Hold on. Please hold. All right. Bjorkstrand. Sorry, Michael, I'm online. So your fourth line, you're looking at who's the center on that? With no Jack Finley. Remember, Jack Finley got picked up. So who's going to be the fourth line center? Because Nick Paul's out there too. Sabrin, Douglas, and Bjorkstrand. I don't know if any of those guys are centers. That's interesting. So you know what that means. They're going to go 11-7 tomorrow night. Because it'll be Hedman, Radish, Carlisle, Destu, Moser, McDonough, Lilleberg. But Chernak wasn't out there either. So that's 8. Wow. So who's going to sit? It'll probably be, I'd say, Carlisle. Yeah, they're going 11-7 tomorrow. They're going 11-7. That's the only way that makes sense. There's no center on the fourth line. So it'll be, your first pairing will be Moser and Radish. Your second pair will probably be McDonough and Chernak. Then you'll have Hedman, Destu, and Lilleberg. Those will be your 7. That makes sense. So there you go. You heard it here first, just by the mathematics. Just by the mathematics, they'll go 11-7 tomorrow. So it'll likely, when Hagel and Gensel are in there, there you go. It'll be 11-7. Fanatical, go Bolts, hate Leafs. All right, there you go. I'll be surprised to see Hagel and Jake even suit up tomorrow. Well, Rob Zettler thinks it's going to happen, so we're going to have to go with them. Who are your favorite prospects for each round of the 26th draft? David, we're going to have to break that entire thing down. I'll give you this one thing right here, buddy, and I appreciate the $5 super chat. Thank you so much. I don't want to just start rattling off names. But here's the one thing that I do like, and I'm going to give you this one. I want to see a pick like this for the Buccaneers, and it's C.J. Allen, linebacker from Georgia. This was a guy that is all over the place. And I know he's technically the third linebacker. But when you look at, what this team needs, Mel Kiper has C.J. Allen this time. I was not happy a couple of months ago when he was talking about Kenyon Sadiq. The Buccaneers don't need a tight end with their first pick. Come on. That's silly. Defense. And oh yeah, more defense. That's what we need. If they want to draft an offensive player later on, fine. But somewhere in the middle, I need a pass rush. I need something that's going to continue to fortify this defense. Now, as we get closer, are they going to get I'm seeing this kid, Gabe Jackus over Illinois. There's Charlie Campbell from WalterFootball.com has him. Anthony Hill's another guy that I've been hearing about in the second round when it comes to the linebacker position out of Texas. You're starting to get to some different names, and that's where it'll change due to what happens in the combine. I think it's silly, but it does affect what teams and how they rank some of these players. TJ Parker is also another name, the defensive end out of Clemson. If they're going to go corner, Amari Jackson from Boston College, and Deontay Lawson. I know a lot of Alabama fans. He was good in run support, can make some plays in pass coverage from what we hear. So we'll see. Those are just some of the names that I've kept an eye on. And I know a lot of people are talking about Styles. I don't see Styles being there at 15. So I kind of want you guys to start forgetting about that name. Bucks need a DT, DE, or LB, one of these three. LB do a team with David for a year to learn. A DT replace Logan Hall. DE to replace Hassan Reddick. Yeah, I don't disagree with that. But with that being said, I think they need more than one linebacker. I think they need more than one. More than that. JJ Spawn and Akshay Bhatia are going to be playing in the Valspar this year. Okay, finally, we're going to end the show with this. An absolutely epic day at Valspar yesterday in Innisbrook. I was hanging out with Sam Cohen and my pal Aaron Jacobson. I want you guys to see why the day was so epic for me. I don't play golf all that often. A handful of times a year, and I usually play a lot in New York with my pops and my brother-in-law. I don't like calling him my brother-in-law. Adam, you're my brother. I love you. So here's why yesterday was so epic for me, guys and gals. Here we go. An epic day at Innisbrook. Again, I'm not great at golf, but yesterday, pretty epic.
Gotta get better gear.
That wasn't a bad first swing.
No. Like you said, it's hard. First swing on camera, never easy.
I'm not mad about mine.
What about the views?
All right, boys. Good day or bad day? Great day. Starts here. 3 boys hanging out at Valspar.
Hell yeah.
Go in the hole.
Hell yeah.
A little left.
Yes.
Fucking
Did that go in? Dude, I'm telling you.
Listen to the Recher podcast extended. First shot.
It all goes downhill from there. Look at how close that thing is. Is that a tap in?
Look at the divot. It went in and around.
I gotta finish it first, right? Get out of the way. Oh my god. I don't want it, but that's a gimme. Dude, that's insane. Not if you're playing with Nick Wise, it's not a gimme.
Dude, I told you guys, that almost went in. You're like, nah.
A little soft.
That was insane.
Pulling it.
Fix your divot.
Tap it in.
Yeah, that's your. Now that's good to go. That's a gimme. I feel like
I got it too. I'll fix it. I'll fix it. Don't you worry.
All right, so we played on 15, and now we're finishing on 8. Oh, it's not that close. Dad, check out this shot. How close are we?
Ben. Drink for free.
Yes, Jay. 2 birdies.
Boom!
Oh,
Let's go.
You finished the way you started.
Boom, baby.
Birdie, birdie.
That's how we roll.
Good shit, boys.
Sounds fucking dumb.
Play the damn song.
That's how we do
Good
it.
shit.
Free
Play the
bird,
dance off,
bitch.
free bird.
Oh, shit. Freebird, bitch. You heard me. Great day with the boys out there. Shout out to Sam Cohn, the new executive producer of the Pat and Aaron Show, and my guy Aaron Jacobson. Listen, I don't play golf that often. Again, I play a handful of times a year. I'll play maybe once or twice in Florida. I play more with my dad and my brothers. I do it for fun. I don't take it too serious. Sometimes I don't keep score. It is what I just want to hit a couple of shots. I want to par a couple holes, birdie a couple holes. It is what it is. I'm out there to have fun and enjoy myself. And I know it pisses off a lot of my friends and family members who play a lot more and they put a lot more money and time and effort into it. And then I go out there and I shoot like a 90. You know, I to me, that's okay. That's good. I keep going in there and just keep knocking it down the course. That's it. It is what it is, man. I'm not perfect. I don't care. If I bogey, double bogey, that's fine. My thing is when I'm playing golf, I want to par or birdie a couple holes. I want to make sure that I don't get an 8. That's like my bugaboo. No snowman. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Just have a good time. Stay balanced mentally. Don't get too high. Don't get too low. Just enjoy myself, man. I go out there and try to enjoy myself. So, yeah, that's my big thing. Stay out of the sand. No 80s. Break 100. And I'm good. I have a good time. And it pisses my friends off because they'll beat me like 1 stroke or 2 strokes. And they're like, how does that happen? And I'm just like, bro, just keep whacking it down the course. That's it. And when you putt, don't wuss out. Putt past the hole if you have to. But don't wuss out and don't leave it short because that's when you get the 3 putts. Listen, if you simplify it and just focus on those 4 or 5 things, I think you can compete. If you're somewhat athletic, if you focus on those things, you're good. And to be fair, I shanked like 1 shot yesterday where I just like chunked it and didn't hit it as well. Everything else, like I hit it and maybe it wasn't perfect, but I hit it down the course. You just got to keep pushing it down, man. Keep pushing it down the course and you'll be fine. And having fun. Pat and Aaron going through producers like Crazy J might have back there out of circumstance. You never know, pal. Hell no, I ain't working the mornings. Awesome shot, brother. Thank you, Bart. You are the great. Look at my guy. I saw him over here. My guy, Josh. Money shot, baby. You know that's how we roll. All right, guys. Busy week for me here in the Tampa Bay area. Look at Honest Hammer in the house. Again, make sure you check them out. Honest Hammer Custom Builders. I told you all about them a little while ago. 813-244-0956 for all your residential and commercial needs. Again, you want somebody that you can trust to work on your home. That's who I trust. He's the man. Give him a shout. 813-244-0956, thehonesthammer.com, thehonesthammer@gmail.com. EverHealth, our EverHealth injury report every Thursday with Dr. Rodriguez. Can't wait to chat with him about our guy Robert Calkins dealing with his finger injury and everything else that's going on in the sports world. All right. Back in action tomorrow, live from Benchmark International Arena. Eric Erlinson will join us on the show as well at 1 o'clock. Who's there? Who's playing? Again, my guess is 11-7 tomorrow night based on they don't have a center for that 4th line, and they'll have 8 healthy defensemen. So I think 11-7 is the way to go. Before everybody leaves, kill that like button right now when you can, whether you're watching on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitter/X. I can't thank you guys enough. Follow me at Recher. The incredible support that we've gotten the last couple of weeks has just been remarkable, especially last week with all the videos. I love you. Everybody have a wonderful Tuesday, whether you're here in the Tampa Bay area or dealing with Snowmageddon. You guys are the best. I'll see you tomorrow at noon right here on the Recher